Welcome to John's Garage Workshop. Over the years, I've acquired quite a bit of building material and it has overtaken my garage workshop. So I needed a way to store it and to also be able to move it around as needed. As you can tell here, I've got some flat stock. I also have some material stored underneath this workbench, and underneath those tarps, there was long pieces of wood as well, material. In these barrels, I have my hardwood, shorter pieces that I've been using as well. And so I've just kind of got it everywhere. I started building this on my workbench, my small workbench. It was the biggest one I had at the time, where I had my assembly table. And the dimensions on this are going to be 30 inches wide and about 8 feet long. I chose 30 inches because I wanted to be able to get in and out of my garage door and move it around easily as I can and need to. Here I'm using my nail gun just to give it some security so I can move it around and kind of get everything squared up. And I find using a brad nailer or a nail gun in this case is a really good way to just kind of hold it together until I get ready to screw it in and I can double check everything and make sure it's what I want. As you can tell here, I'm using a pipe clamp to get everything squared up. I used two shorter pipe clamps. You can see the coupling in the middle where I joined those two pipes together. And I found that to be a very good, efficient way to use pipe clamps. Pipe clamps are really great because they give you some really strong clamping power and it gives you more power to actually get things held together quickly and with a great deal of force. I used those square corner clamps on this to make sure I had everything good and square as best I could. Also, you can see there in the corner I used a laser level or laser measure to make sure I had everything lined up right. And the dimensions for this were 101.5 inches long diagonally for the squaring. And it came out pretty good. I was quite pleased with it. Also, I was able to use some of the scrap material as a base for this particular unit. A neighbor gave me some scrap 3/4 inch fiber board that he's going to get rid of before he moves. Here I am again using one of my favorite tools, the brad nailer, is what I was talking about at the time, but I also here using the Kreg Rip Cut Circular Saw Guide. It's also one of my favorite tools. It helps me to get a straight, clean cut every time, and it's really good to work for getting the right dimensions. As you can see here, I've moved on a little bit, made some more progress. I've been doubling up on some 2x4s in the middle to give it more brace, as well as on the ends to give it more strength. And I've also put some 1x4s on the edges there, and then secured my 6-inch wheels that I got from Home Depot to the bottom of this. It should be really strong, excuse me, and each one of those wheels will hold 300 pounds. So this thing will be built to hold a large quantity of material, which it will have on it. You'll also see my hammer that I made there. That's my Lily hammer, and it's one of my tools I built a long time ago. I use quite a bit when I'm doing my woodworking. There you can see that looks nice and clean on the bottom. Unfortunately, nobody else will see it very much, but there it is anyway. Here I was using the Kreg Pocket hole jig to secure the corner pieces, the legs, braces on the work guide, on the cart. These are the corner pieces for the on each end of the corner, each end of the machine. One thing you'll notice here also is that I secured with the clamp, I think it was probably a 2x6 there on the corner to hold that piece in place as I drilled in the screws to hold that in the corner, the pocket hole screws. If you've had much experience with pocket hole screws, you know that they have a tendency to push around the piece you're trying to secure. So that's why I like to use that brace there whenever I do it. Here my son is helping me, Colton. He was 17 years old at the time, and as you can tell, we've already secured the corner pieces on, and we're now putting on the 2x6s, I believe those were, at the top to hold up the pieces on the top. This will be the top platform. Once again, we're squaring things up to make sure it's all in line there so everything lines up right with, and the wash shut up there for a millisecond in the garage. Probably it's going to tell us to do something. I don't know. She likes to check in on us once in a while, make sure we're keeping busy. I built this thing out of 2x6s and 2x4s, and there's the 2x8s there in the corner. You can see I want to make it good and strong because it might be holding material for a long time as I work my way through it. I don't always get a lot built at one time, so I've got a supply of material that's going to probably last until I die. So I want to make sure this thing will hold it. Plus, this card will probably spend a fair amount of time outside, even though it'll be undercover. I want to make sure that it wouldn't deteriorate and it would hold up just fine. So we're building it out of some good, strong material, and I'm sure it'll last a long time. We use 2x6s there again to hold the milk to make the middle shelf, so it would have plenty of strength. I did make a little bit later. I did make my assembly table, and I had 2x4s in the middle of that, and that kind of gave it some. Wasn't quite as strong as I'd like it to have been. I wish I would have used 2x6s there, but it hasn't fallen apart yet. I actually made this particular cart about a year or two before I built my assembly table, and so it was a good experience. Looked like Colin was able to make sure that everything was good and square and flat and level. That's always nice. Also put a reinforcing 2x6 in the middle to give that a little bit more stability and strength. That was on the top as well as in the middle partition. This thing's not going to fall apart for a while, that's for sure. Plus, I wanted to make it good and strong because it's going to be moved around with quite a bit of weight on it. So I wanted to make sure that it was good and solid. And I think it will be. Turned out real well for us so far. Well, thanks for joining me on this build today. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Hit the like button as well as subscribe. We'll have some more videos coming your way. Just so you know, I did use mostly scrap material on the corners. I did buy the 2x6s. I had bought those new, so those are not scrap material that I used. But there you can see on this cart, I've got a lot thrown on it. I've got at the bottom is all full of walnut. The middle is mostly oak that I've acquired, and the top is just a variety of flat boards that I've acquired over the years as well, and a few new pieces here and there. So thanks for joining me, and have a good day. Please like and subscribe.